So hello everyone. Let's start the game of the Magnus Carlsen versus Wesley So from the Norway Chess 2026. Basically, Magnus is lost this match, so let's see this match actually, and also we hope that Magnus will just come back in a stronger format in this tournament. Okay, and also we know that everyone, for example, before starting a tournament, writes down that Magnus is just a champion of the tournament. So we hope so from that goat. Okay, let's see the game e4, e5. So Magnus was white, knight f3, knight f6, knight c6, and then bishop c4. So it's a typical Guigo piano setup. Knight f6, c3, bishop c5, bishop g5. So like bishop g5 is also very popular. Now he plays h6, bishop h4, putting the bishop on here. DC actually. I think he can play also g5, maybe bishop g3, and then d6. The game will just simply continue. Okay. So here after d6, now c3 was played, a5, castle, castle, and eventually after castle, castle, the position is equal, and Magnus played knight d2, bishop a7 was played, a4, and g5. Suddenly he started pushing this pawn, bishop g3, king g7. So he is like slowly preparing attack on the king side, so that for example he could put more pressure on this g3 pawn, g3 bishop, rook e1, then g4. But after g4, for example, knight h4, knight f5, maybe Magnus play knight h4. Yeah, Magnus plays it. Knight h4, knight h5, and then knight f1. Such a beautiful move by Magnus. And because Magnus maybe realizes that, for example, knight f3, knight h3, knight f5 kind of ideas may work. Now queen g5 was played in the match. Knight h3, the same thing that I told you. And after takes, now I think that it's better to take with this thing, like so that for example this file become open maybe, and Magnus maybe take with the rook actually. Okay, Magnus take with the rook, that is also fine actually, because after takes like there is two double pawn actually, so that is the main problem in this position. But after takes, rook takes, knight f4 was played, definitely it's a very good move, queen e1. So like what is the idea of the queen e1? Maybe Magnus just wanted to, like, if I'm not wrong, just simply supporting these things so that he can play f3. This is also one of the important idea. Yeah, absolutely correct. That is the main thing, amazingly, because every top level players always have some kind of plans in their mind. Now h5, definitely, if he has simply take, then knight takes, and eventually all the advantage is simply gone. And after bishop b5, knight e7, d4 was played in the match, f6, rook d1, and the position is completely equal. Wesley So is also playing extremely well. Now rook d2, developing the rook actually, and also supporting the g2 pawn. Rook f7, king h1, moving from the pin. King h7, d5, just try to block, but after that we play bishop d7. Bishop c is also possible, but the thing is that it's just block the rook. After takes, knight f5, knight e7, just trying to exchange. Now bishop h4, queen g6, and knight g3. So Magnus, it is clear that Magnus was not playing for draw. Basically, if he just takes, the position would be better for black. Magnus was trying to playing for winning. Queen g3, c4. So Magnus just started pushing these pawns. Now he wanted to play on the queen side, and that happened in the match. Knight e1, a very good move by Magnus actually. So knight e1, maybe wanted to play knight e3 and f5. Knight h4, queen h4, f5. Such a beautiful move by also Vasily. Maybe wanted to play f4. No, just simply take first. Now queen takes, knight g6, g3 just stopping f4, rook f1, rook f2, queen c1, and king g2. So rook f3. So slightly the position become like in favor of the Vasily. It was small inaccuracy, but okay, this is also fine actually. It's not a bad move, I will say. But Magnus got some chances here. I think the best move was queen g3, king h10, queen g5, and followed by takes, maybe rook f4. Oh, such a beautiful. It's very difficult to find actually. But and then queen g4 checkmate. So interesting cheating. And now he Magnus just play queen b2, and now queen d4. Amazing move, just trying to exchange the queens. Takes, and after takes, this pawns become very weak, and eventually he take the advantage, and the king also cannot like come actually to attack the pawn because the knight is blocking all these things. Okay, so like knight d3, knight b2, and eventually he just simply give the pawn, but in return, like, this is very solid actually. Okay, and it's very difficult for Magnus to like stop it, and eventually he just simply take all the pawns, and position was just lost. Okay, so Magnus lost the match, but okay, Magnus is like, for example, I think 4.5 out of 18. So let's see what happened after like few rounds. I hope so that goat Magnus Carlsen definitely will come back. We, as a chess fan, definitely wanted like Magnus Carlsen's comeback, and he's one of the like best players in this decade. Okay, so I hope that you just like my analysis. I hope that you will share and subscribe, and also you can put comments like to me so that I could able to understand that how much are you liking my commentary. Okay, thanks for that. Bye.